Hello guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to retouch your photos just like this using Photoshop. So without more ado, let's get started. And before that, don't forget to like this video, comment and also share with your friends, and most importantly, smash the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of my future videos. In this channel I upload Photoshop tutorials, so you can check them out, links in the description below. So without more ado, let's get started. So open your image like this in Photoshop, and after that all you need to do is to select the background and then you press Ctrl J on your keyboard to duplicate. So you're going to duplicate this layer twice. So I've duplicated the first one and I've also duplicated the second one. So we rename the first layer to top layer. For example, you can rename it to top, and the next one you can rename it to bottom. Okay. After that being done, all you need to do is to hide the top layer and select the bottom layer. After selecting the bottom layer, you go to filter and you go to blur and you go to Gaussian blur. So you are going to blur this image like this. It depends on you, but it should be a little bit blurry like this. For example, my feather radius is 6.2, but you can still increase it according to your preference. So finally I'm going to put 7.5 and I'm going to tap OK. So you can see it blurs your image like this. So after that being done, select your top layer and you're going to turn it back on. Select it, go to image and you go to apply image over here. And after that you're going to push this over here so you can see your image very well. And after that we have layer. Select the layer, drop down arrow, you tap on bottom, select the bottom layer. So if you're using a 16-bit image, your blending is going to be add, and the scale here is going to be 2, and the offset is going to be 0. So you can see nothing really happens here because I am using an 8-bit image. So how do you see if your image is 16-bit or 8-bit? So come on the document name over here, you can see RGB/8 means that it is an 8-bit image. If it was a 16-bit image, it would have been RGB/16. So since I'm using an 8-bit image, the blending is going to be subtract, you understand? So the scale is going to be 2, so the offset is going to be 128. So this is it. As you can see, it changes the image completely. And make sure you don't check invert, and after this is done you tap on OK. So this is how your image looks like. If you zoom in, this is how it looks like. So this means that this layer has all the details on the skin of the image. So all I'm going to do now is to select the top layer. I'm going to come to blending mode and I'm going to change it to linear light. You can see, so it looks like the original image. You can see that. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to select the top layer and the bottom layer. If I select the top layer, you hold shift on your keyboard and select the bottom layer, and after that is done, you press Ctrl G on your keyboard to group these images. If you don't want to do that, you can just drag both of them and you drop it on the group icon. You can see it over here and it's going to put them in a group. So this group, I'm going to rename it frequency separation. So this method of retouching images is called frequency separation. So the reason why we are doing this is because after the retouching is being done, we are going to be able to hide this to see the before, which is this image, and we are going to unhide it to see the after. So it will make it very easy. So let's move to the next step. I'm going to open the group and select the bottom layer, and I'm going to head over to my toolbar. I'm going to right click on my brush tool and I'm going to select the mixer brush tool. As you can see, mixer brush tool. So if you see an icon like this, know that your caps lock is on. So I'm just going to press my caps lock to bring the original icon. So I'm just going to right click and increase the size so that I can see very well. Okay, after that is been done, over here on the option bar, make sure you take note of this. Come over here, click on this drop down arrow and you make sure it is on clean brush. You can see. So if this option is checked, if this icon is checked, make sure you uncheck it. Do you understand? Make sure you do what? You uncheck it and only check this one. Okay, so after that you move over to wet is 8%, load you put it, make sure it's 75%, mix should be 90%, and the flow should be 100, and here we have 10%. And make sure that you don't check the sample or layers option. So don't check this, just leave it like that. So normally this is what we would have done. We would have disabled the visibility of the top layer, as you can see here, so that we can brush it up. So if we hide the top layer and zoom in, all you need to do is to, since it's a mixer brush tool, all you need to do is increase your brush size a little bit, and all you need to do is to blend the skin together. As you can see, this part of the skin is very dark, so I'm just going to blend according to the skin. Let's say the skin, or the brightest part of the skin or the darkest part of the skin. So if it's dark, I'm going to brush it to the dark area, and if it's bright, I'm going to brush it around the bright areas. So that's it. So right now we cannot really see what is going on. All I need to do is to review the top layer, and you can see that place how it looks like. It looks very nice and awesome. So all I need to do is to hide this group. If you hide it, you're going to see the before, and if you unhide it, you're going to see the after. So that was the reason that we created this group in the first place. So you can select the bottom layer, you hide the top layer, and continue with that. But if you don't want that, you can still keep it open and you can still blend the skin together. So I've reviewed the top layer, I select the bottom layer, and I'm going to come to the another part of the skin, and I'm going to brush it as well. So make sure you take your time to do this so that you get a wonderful result. And if you're using an high quality image taken from a digital camera, then you must be very lucky. And if you don't have images to use, make sure you check the link in the description to download it for free. If this part of the skin is bright, make sure you blend it to the bright part. Okay, if it's dark, make sure you blend it to the dark part. So there are some point you need to reduce your brush size so that you can work on this part. So if I hide this layer, I'm going to see the before, and here is the after. So if you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to hit that like button, comment down below of what you think about this video, and also subscribe so you don't miss my future videos. So as you can see, I've mistakenly blend this part. I'm going to undo. I'm going to blend it according to the lightest part of the skin, and I'm going to blend this part as well. So this is the before and this is the after. As you can see, we are still working on it. So it does not mean that you need to retouch just the face alone. I mean, you can retouch the neck, the hands, and so on. So make sure you do it carefully. And also note that if you take your time to do this, you're going to get a wonderful result. So don't be in a haste because you're not hasty. We're going to brighten the eyes. So all you need to do is select the group, go to adjustment option over here. I'm going to select hue and saturation. So after that, under master, I'm going to select yellows, so to make the eyes to be white, and I'm going to clip this adjustment to the group over here. So after that, I'm going to drag this down this way. You can even drag this one up, but I'm not going to drag it. I'm going to go ahead with this one. So make sure it's not too much. Make sure it looks as natural as possible. So after that, you can hide it to see the before and after. Okay, it's great. So all you need to do is to select the marks, press Ctrl I on your keyboard to invert the marks. So After that, right click and select your brush tool, reduce the size. Now the foreground is white, so we are going to make sure the foreground is white color. You click OK, you select the marks over here and you reduce your brush size. Okay, reduce the hardness, and all you need to do is to paint on the white part of the eyes to make it look natural. So just paint on the white part. Okay, if you're satisfied with this, we can proceed. You can see before and after, or we can still double click here and increase, go back to here and select yellows as before, and you can increase this to be more higher. You can see that. So this is according to your preference. I want it to look as natural as possible, so I'm going to leave it that way. So if you want to put a lipstick, for example, you might want to make your lips to be pink, you can just come here, you select solid color, and you can select something, a color like this. It depends on you. Okay, after that you change the blend mode to something like this, color dodge for example. Select the marks, press Ctrl I to invert the marks, select the brush tool, increase the size of your brush, zoom in very well, reduce the flow to something like 4, and you can just paint on the lips a little bit, not too much, because this is a male. So if it's a female, you can really paint it much like that. Okay, you can see, I don't know if this looks natural as possible, but this should be it. You can also try changing the blend mode to see what works best for your picture. Okay, you don't want it to be reddish. I like this, so that's it. You can even reduce the feel so that it will not be intense. Okay, so this is according to your own preference. Okay, this is okay for me, and as usual, I'll advise that you take your time to work on your image very well so that you'll be satisfied at the end of the day. So you can also play with the levels, the darkest part of the skin and the brightest part of the skin. You can see, you can just play around with this. It depends on you. Okay, after that we are going to check if we have some pimples, some blemishes on the skin. So you're going to open this group and you're going to select the top layer. You can see the top layer. So all you need to do is to come to your spot healing brush tool, or you can actually use the clone stamp tool. Okay, choose any one that works best for you. So we're going to try both. So I'm going to come here, for example, if this is a pimple, so I'm just going to click here to remove it immediately. So click here. So while you're doing this, make sure that the top layer is selected, because the top layer helps you to remove pimples and blemishes on the skin. So increase the size to your preference and you're going to remove it. So this image does not really have much of that, but I'm just showing you just in case your image has stuff like this. If the spot healing brush tool is not really giving you what you want, all you need to do is to select the clone stamp tool. So with the clone stamp tool, just reduce the size. So you go to the fine part of the skin, you hold out on your keyboard and you click to pick that sample from there. You come to the place that has some pimple or blemishes and you click to replace it. Have you seen what has happened? Okay, let me do it again. So you come, this is what we want to remove, for example. So we come here, you hold out and you click to pick this part, and you go on top of the pimple and you click to replace it. Have you seen it? So this works very well. So make sure you use this, or you can also use the spot healing brush tool. So after all this is being done, you can try tweaking with the colors a little bit. You can even remove the background depending on the kind of image you're using. I'm going to also take time and remove the background, but it's not going to be in this video because that's quite simple. So you can also come to color balance, for example. You can come and tweak the colors a little bit to your choice. So depends on you understand. So yeah, anything is possible with color balance, I guess. but not everything though. So you can see it before and after. If it's too much, you can reduce the fill or the opacity. You can see. So if this is not okay by you, you can as well use the camera raw filter. You can see this is this balance. Okay, press Ctrl Shift Alt plus E on your keyboard to make a screenshot of this particular image, and you can right click and convert it to a smart object so that it will be indestructible. Go to filter and you go to camera raw filter. So here is camera raw filter, and over here we have the basic. You can as well play with some few stuff, either the temperature of the image, you understand, either you want it to be warm or cold. You can play with the tint, depends on you. This is the exposure, you see what I'm saying, exposure, and you have the contrast, do you understand, the contrast, you have the highlights, you have the shadows. You can just play around with things that you really want. So if you want to undo this, you can. If you want to reset this to default, you can just double click on this slider, double click on this to take it back to default settings. Okay, so don't put all the effects in one image, just tweak some ones and see how it works for your image, then you can go for the one that you really need. Okay, this is clarity, you can see, you can make it a little bit bright. Okay, if you tap on the preview, you're going to see the before and the after. So you can, so with this option you can be able to tweak and, you know, color correct this to your taste. Okay, so this is where this video is going to end. So see you in the next video. There you have it, guys. I hope you learned a lot from this video. If this video was helpful to you in one way or the other, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss any of my future videos. Don't forget to share with your friends and also follow me on social media, links in the description below. So I hope I will see you in the next video. Adios.